Adam and Wack show, and we're back. You did 2 solo episodes without me. I know it was hurting your soul, and I know you're so ready to be back with the 22ster.
I mean, listen, you know what? Really, it was kind of cool because I felt like you was enjoying the family. So I just felt like I had to hold down the fort. I had to make sure we at least got into the 100,000 range. I couldn't have you look up and we ain't do no numbers. I had to make sure it's a total different dynamic without my guy.
It's almost like you're the father and I'm the wife.
I don't know what that.
I was off chilling, eating bonbons on the couch. You were bringing home the bacon.
Hey, listen.
No gay shit. That's not even gay.
I just wanted to make sure.
We're not even getting started yet. I got way gayer shit than that to say.
And the Adam and Wack show says 40,000. I made sure that.
Even solo, I don't think you're gonna do 40,000.
No, I'm just saying though. Like I wanted to make sure.
Even Smack did a solo podcast. He got 28,000 or 24,000 or something. He gets money from the government to be retarded.
Which one is Smack?
The little dyke looking one from Figmunity.
Yeah, you know what? Smack, Smack calls me, tells me to call in.
Oh.
And then when I call in and run it up, I guess he gets checked about it.
Right.
And then he goes and tucks his tail like he don't know what happened.
He stay getting checked and he stay tucking his tail.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's
that's crazy.
He got a little bit of Custer in his blood.
You called on the exposers and you pissed him off, bro.
Wait, you say that?
They read the work and got mad.
What work?
Brian Pumper.
Ah, yes. I have another Brian Pumper video that's coming soon.
Oh, no, they running him right now.
Wait, really? Because
I swear they run. If I go in there right now, they like, yo, what? They like, yo, what you had to send Adam? I said, well, I didn't look at it. I just told, bro requested. He said, yo, man, F this dude. I said, what you mean? They like, bro, this dude got 30. They said he had 30 different times of burning somebody.
Wait.
No, they breaking it down right.
STD stuff.
Yeah, bro, they got everything. They got all his. See, when they sent
now we're talking.
When they sent you to work.
Yeah,
like
we got the work.
If I go in there right now, they're talking about it, right?
Okay, because all right, full
I don't know what he did to you.
I basically wrote a whole video in a flurry. It took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I just wrote this whole video about Brian Pumper. It's gonna be coming out on my channel real soon. And I asked you, I'm like, can the exposers look into his criminal stuff? Because I had heard that he had been charged with rape-related stuff, all this kind of stuff.
He got that.
But when you sent me the initial paperwork, it was like a bunch of stuff from like 2014 and then a bunch of stuff from 2022 and then nothing after that. So,
well,
but there wasn't like a lot of details. It just said like forced sexual coercion or some shit on all the charges. There wasn't like a ton of information.
Okay, well, whatever it is, I'm going to have them send all the rest of the stuff because just because they had it, I think they kept looking.
Yeah.
And they got, whatever they got is pretty detailed.
Okay.
It breaks down. He just told me, bro, this dude burned somebody 30 different times. The counts is I guess people.
You burn one person 30 times. I feel like after the first or second time, it's kind of like
different
your fault.
people.
Oh, so he was just spreading something around.
I guess people was reporting him or something, right?
I just feel like herpes is not like that serious. So, but could it be AIDS?
No.
Because that's one of my many theories.
When you're talking about an STD, right?
Right.
And somebody that's in the porn industry.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, as a human being, you should know how to chill out. But if you're in the porn industry,
you're not a human being.
And you didn't burnt, it's 30 different complaints, real complaints where you burnt somebody.
Right.
And you're in the porn industry.
That's not good.
Bro, that's crazy.
This must be going back.
And he got some sexual offenses.
Yeah. That's what I saw, like forced sexual coercion.
But I'm willing to believe Brian might have did some telling somewhere because we're seeing like 4 years, but 288s and 264s and like shit like that.
When I interviewed Nat Turner, he told me that Brian Pumper has like previously taken the stand against people.
He had to because that doesn't,
not
the time don't fit the punishment.
Yeah.
Niggas don't get no 4 years for no R's, bro. I don't. You know what
I'm trying to figure out is if he locked up right now, because if you remember, there was clips coming out of him consistently at the bus stop, waiting around, getting
I talked to him on the phone.
Wait, when? Recently?
No, probably
back then.
About 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago, because I was trying to get him up here.
And what did he say?
No, he says, cool, I'm in a halfway house, boom, 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 bam. And he was a little hesitant, but You know, I knew him from my boy Robbie Rob from New York.
Yeah.
DJ Robbie Rob. That's 50 Cent's DJ.
Who made the series called Life of a Porno N-Word, I believe, or
something like that.
Something like that was like the series they made about him.
But he was, he like, where? And when I told him, he kind of looked at me. So I don't know y'all history.
Right. I'm guessing that, well, we have no history, but I'm guessing that the halfway house was basically like near the bounty hunters, because I'm thinking that that's probably why he got pelted with eggs there, because that's like a random location.
Yeah, because why would he's not, if your halfway house is in Hollywood, you ain't catching the bus to walk around.
Nobody's going to that area unless you have a reason to be there. And I'm thinking that he was homeless because he always walking around with a duffel bag.
I seen him on Venice Beach.
A lot of people did, but when I'm searching his name on YouTube, it's like there's almost nothing for the last 6 months. So I'm thinking he might be locked up right now, or he got out of Dodge and he's living somewhere outside of LA, which also he's kind of so famous that I would think that he would still get spotted even if he was out in Barstow or something.
Is it illegal to knowingly spread STD? Yes, in California, it's illegal to know. Yeah. So listen, tonight, by the time we get off, they gonna send you a bunch of more stuff.
Oh, I gotta rush my current video out, and then I can make another video with that information.
Yeah, because he didn't piss them off.
The criminal history of Brian Pumper.
It's one thing when I'm pissed off and I'm telling my team to go dig.
Right.
It's another thing when I give them a request to go find something for somebody, and they get mad about what they found.
Wow. So I've subjected them to a whole litany of sexual offenses that put them in a sour mood.
Well, you got to remember, my guys are like ex-military vets. You know what I'm saying? They're like regular people. These aren't no street dudes that's part of the exposure squad. You know, we got some ex-cons and some regular dudes, but we got military vets. So whatever the hell they read, they like, hey, well, Adam mind? I said, no, run it, because he just want to hear it, and we going to send him what you're running it off of.
But that kind of makes sense to me, because he's been avoiding doing any podcasts. He hasn't done podcasts. He hasn't done porn, etc. So that would kind of make sense. He doesn't want to talk about why he was locked up, so he doesn't want to do podcasts, and then he can't shoot porn because he apparently has some terrible traumatic STD. That would make sense.
I believe he should have
allegedly.
Well, I guess he can't do that because they're going to run his history. I was like, he should have just became a truck driver.
There's some mystery in his history.
Yeah, it's something going on.
Yeah, those truck
you know
drivers,
what?
That's kind of his lifestyle.
He got to go get him just an old lady.
I bet he got a couple.
And just lay up. Like an older lady. Like,
just live off.
You know, you see those pictures of the mismatched people? You got to do that.
Yeah, I feel like he tends to go in the other direction. Very, very young.
Who?
Brian Pumper. That's one of his many allegations that's been thrown out there, is that he was basically shooting with girls without properly IDing them, or meeting them, fucking them on camera, then making them get an STD. This is why he lost his deal with Evil Angel, which is like a really big porn company, is because he would find girls on the train, fuck them, make them get tested the next day, and then submit it. And then basically they ended up figuring out that that's what he was doing. But his logic was, I don't want to meet a girl and then convince her to do porn and then have her change her mind the next day. So that's no good from the porn perspective. It's like, that's coercion. That's manipulative.
I have no idea what the hell. Now, I do porn. I just do what you call private porn.
Right. How often do you hold the camera, or do you set up a camera, or nanny cam?
Sometimes I set it up. This morning I knew I had to leave, so.
Would you trust me with some of that material?
What are you talking about, bro? I
would love to see you clap R&B's cheeks.
That's some gay shit.
No, it's not. I want to look at her.
That's some gay shit.
If I've got to watch you lay it down, then so be it.
That's weird.
It's not that weird.
Like this morning, you know, when I leave, I go through this little thing I do, is just R&B time.
A couple hours of.
No, I wake her up at like 4:45.
That's
then
too
I
early.
Position her in front of me. I give her this. What I do, I put on like a TV series on Netflix, because that's how I can time it. So I give her
not a timer.
2 episode times worth of giving her an ass massage. She goes to sleep like she be out, because she lays on side of me and I'm here. Then I got the oils, so I drip the oils down and I massage her ass all down her thigh. Like 2 hours, 2 episodes.
Of what show? Because many shows have different lengths.
This morning it was Narcos.
Those are probably like a good hour, right?
It was Narcos. This morning.
Make sure you don't put Bluey on. Those episodes are like 9 minutes.
So I massage her and I do all that. And I just create all these different ways of massage. Like I use knuckles. And,
see, that's the content that I want to see. Yeah.
All kind of shit.
Yeah.
And
I want to see that.
And then I'll massage her feet. You know what I mean?
I'm working on a foot fetish.
Give her the little lollipop, the little toe action.
Okay.
Y'all suck my woman toes. I don't know about.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
time.
And then you roll her over. Then you gotta, it's different. A lot of these dudes, they F their women. Sometimes that's cool, but sometimes you got to slow it down and you gotta that. R&B really taught me how to do the slow, passionate love.
Right.
She taught me that.
They don't teach you that in prison.
I mean, we knocking shit down, all just knocking it down.
In prison, even, yeah, knocking shit down.
No, not prison. I'm just saying, niggas that do time when we get out, we beating shit up.
Right.
By the way, go check out True Car. We got a song called "Beat It Up" with Coyle Ray. Right, but we So what it does is it's kind of gift and a curse because it keeps her happy. But if I'm going about a day and a half, she start tripping.
If she doesn't get...
No, just I'm gone. Because once you pouring into your woman like that, and it's a disconnect to be away.
If she's that horny, I feel like you can't trust her.
No, I can trust my woman.
Yeah, but if she's that horny after a day and a half, I mean, what's a week gonna do?
No, it's not even about the sex. It's about just me being there.
Intimacy, love.
Yeah, right, that's all it is. You know what I mean? See, you go home every day. So if I come back to Cali, I might be out here 2, 3, 4 days sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on what I got to do.
Right. That's what I need. I need to just stay here and work on my computer for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. Because I was streaming yesterday for 4 hours.
And sometimes you got to lock up, bro, a day and a half. I did it when I started to put together Blueface's rollout.
Wait, so you're anticipating him being home so soon that you think that you're already working on the rollout, or is it going to be a year? No, we're way under a year. Oh, okay. It'd be home this year. But I thought about it. Most people come home, they drop some music, but you think about it, right? So if you're dropping some music, you got to go make it. You run around, do some interviews, and you look up and you let something go and it may not work. So I'm kind of one thing about Blueface, what makes him the star that he is he's in 3, we got boxing, we got television, we got mute, you know what I mean? So what I did is I set up a boxing match, a TV show, line up a TV show, and then I'm working on his music deal right now. Who's he gonna box?
Nick Young.
Who's that?
Swaggy P from the LA Lakers.
Oh, right. That's good. Yeah.
Called him. We got that locked down. Got the TV show. We already scripting that right now. So we'll announce that R&B and his mom.
So you don't believe in him as a rapper anymore? You think that he needs to focus on boxing and acting?
No, we're doing all 3.
Okay. Because I feel like I've always been an actual fan of his music.
No, see, you're missing it, right? So if he paroles, right, you got to remember, I understand my artist, right? If he paroles and got too much time on his hands, this is his first time on parole, right? So if he paroles to the camera, he's working. Now on that camera, guess what? Your boxing training, your studio, your music, you're doing all that, and you're mingling with the chicks, whatever we doing with that. So it's 3 different things going on simultaneously at one time.
He needs to be in the crib.
So
what's the main risk with him? That he goes back to the hood? Or
no, not
that he has all these toxic bitches around. He's getting in fights with them. No,
it's not even that. He can handle that. It's him being in places not realizing who he is.
Right.
He's so cool. He don't act Hollywood and bougie. You can't do what he did. If Creep would have did it, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So, and I think he realizes that. So what we doing? His rollout is gonna consist of 3 things that's happening all at once. Okay. 1 month is gonna be the fight. Another month we might release some music. Another month we releasing the reality show is running as all these things are going on, and everything will be wrapped up in one. And then after that, quite naturally, that'll bring me to the top of the year, and then I can tour him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to go on that tour. I want to be more involved with the Blueface thing. I feel like
you already are.
Me and you as icons in the podcasting space and him as a star rapper, I think we need to embed our brands together more and more.
You already are, and I'm glad you said that because now I can write you into it. You already are. It's real. Anything I do, you do, and vice versa. I'm that type of guy. Man, listen, what I caught a lot of flack when I first came up here.
Same.
Because you were like overly protective of Bricc.
Okay.
on some real shit, I could say, I'm like, yo, he really got Bricc back. This was really at, like, when it came to that, I knew, you know, just being who I am and understanding business, I kind of knew how to pipe down and only go so far with that because I knew where you stood with that. Why he start taking shots at you because you on vacation, like your vacation wasn't already scheduled before probably the feds scheduled to pick him up?
I mean, honestly, we spoke on the phone earlier today, and he said that comment about people having their feet kicked up in the sand while they're on vacation, he said that wasn't for me.
But,
Which having a moment to think about it does seem kind of unlikely, but I'm going to cut him the maximum amount of slack because we had this nice phone call. It's like,
because he saw the way you reacted.
That's the weird thing about me and Bricc is that I feel like I got so much love for him that I kind of
he showed his hand.
I give him a longer leash than I would give like almost anybody else.
He showed his hand.
Well, but they're also, him and his girl both denying that they even really had a conversation with Sharpe. His girl said that she spoke to him briefly, but that it wasn't anything of seriousness. But when Sharpe went on his live stream or whatever, keep in mind Sharpe is essentially a crackhead.
No, I'm not gonna let him do that.
What? You don't think Sharpe?
No.
I mean, listen, there's a point where you drink and smoke enough cigarettes that you become a crackhead without crack.
Listen, because Sharpe be thinking up against you, right? I just call it how I see it. It's one of them things. Bro, Bricc is BSing, talking about he wasn't talking about you. He just saw your reaction, right? He saw your reaction, and he does what he does with everybody. He'll say something on camera, then you get on the phone with him. Oh, man, you know it really wasn't like that. I was just trolling, just content. He got on that phone with Sharpe. Because I'm gonna be real, I was already hearing this thing about his final check. First about the final check.
Okay.
It was all, and I just didn't say nothing because you ain't say it ain't my business.
For the record, he did get his final check.
He was already.
Nobody could ever say that we did not pay him for the time that he put in here.
Before Sharpe said anything, I'm hearing from a certain young lady that I know his wife is talking to at the time, a complaint about a check.
Oh.
You ain't dumb. You doing the math. So the one other lady I might be talking to periodically that she's talking to, right? Because these two people are in the same location. So I'm hearing already some whisper about what you're not doing.
Oh, what? You're talking to Sharice Mills?
That's a fact.
Okay.
So I'm hearing some whisper about what you're not doing already, right? When it comes to Bricc. So once Sharpe said it, I knew they said that to Sharpe. Because it was already being whispered about.
You're now making me feel like I got sort of finessed on the phone.
You definitely, that's what Bricc does. You know he does
that. Good, yeah.
He does that with everybody. Woo. Ah, man, you know, I ain't mean nothing. It ain't like that. It just, that's what he does, right? And I didn't understand why he was doing it because I'm like, hey, yo, you might need Adam to send a letter in to the courts, or you might, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep a guide in your corner that at least Adam will make sure you got some deodorant and some commissary every month. He that type of dude. Y'all got that type of relationship to where, bro, like, you know what, you need $150 a month, man, to go to the store. Hey, that's big, knowing you got somebody on the street that'll send you $100 a month when you doing time. That makes sure you got lotion, toothpaste, your deodorant, and something to snack on at least, right? Like, why would you burn that bridge like that?
My thing is that regardless of what he may have done or not done, and if he's been upfront with me about certain things, it's like I can't fully say bon voyage to the Bricc man while he's locked up in prison. It just doesn't feel right. I got to hold him down. We can scrap when he gets out. We can address all of our issues.
You can do it how you want to do it. I'm gonna say this: Sharpe wasn't lying. Because what Sharpe said, I was already hearing that he said prior to Sharpe saying it. So that ain't nothing Sharpe gonna lie about anyway. Sharpe not just gonna come out and start talking about what you ain't doing for Bricc.
I kind of disagree. I think Sharpe talks out of his ass all the time.
No, he would have said, I bet Adam didn't. That would have been his conversation.
He's not smart enough
if he was speculating.
Yeah.
I bet Adam did if he was just on one. But him saying Bricc called and I talked to the wife or whatever, and they tell me what's happening with this, what's happening with that. The reason why Bricc thought he can trauma bond with Sharpe is why. Because Sharpe played himself out of his last check, which he was paid. He just was paid in other ways.
Pete on that dumpster, we sent him an invoice.
You get what I'm saying?
Which, by the way, we're going to f*** your credit up if you don't pay that invoice.
So you got to understand, he thought, okay, I can call over here with this. He can't call over there to Loose too much because Loose them grinding. They still getting the bag.
Right. You know, he told me earlier on the phone that he tried to get Luce to squabble him 8 different times while behind bars, and that Luce was not having it. And that Luce is now in a separate part of the prison with Dirk. I guess that's where they put the celebrities, like Luce Cannon and Dirk.
So let me get this right.
Right.
Bricc is claiming Luce turned down the fade.
8 times.
That's cap.
You don't believe that?
No.
They were never cellies. Luce was lying about that,
Well,
I guess.
no, they was both lying about that.
They were playing.
That was weird. I mean, I knew they was in the same general area because we can hear them there talking. We knew that. But as far as them being celly, I just think they was in there, hey, man, we're going to run the contest, going to make people talk.
Yeah.
Really, I think.
They got all the time in the world to talk about how to make people talk about them.
Yeah, I think that's what was going on with
and
that.
they're both so content-brained now.
I don't believe that. For one, I'm going to be real. I don't think Bricc could whoop Luce. I think Bricc will fight Luce. I think Bricc, from listening to Bricc, I think he has some situations going on where fighting is not really too safe for him.
Well, he got shot in the neck.
Yeah.
And he can't like ball his fist up as well as he probably would want to. But that's from forever ago. So, I mean.
No, well, whatever's going on with him, I know he has some. And I had to tell myself this, like, Wack, you ever run into him? Dude is not all the way like, I know he got the heart to fight, but I know he has, he has some things going on that may hinder,
Don't turn him into a T-Rail. He ain't a real handicap like T-Rail.
But shit, bro, if you got some movement problems, and I'm going to be real, I wouldn't want to fight Bricc just based upon knowing he got some things, that neck lead to the spine. Yeah. And I'm going to be real, I don't want to be the dude to where a dude can't pick his child up because we had a squabble behind some podcast.
So you don't want to fight him because you're afraid that you will physically destroy him to the extent where he's not able to pick up a 10-pound child.
Yeah,
that's so big of you.
No, for real though, bro. I mean, because if it's over some podcast stuff, like I don't want to be the one looking up, and he like our guy, Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Christopher Reeves. Yeah, I turn breaking to Christopher Reeves. Wow.
I wouldn't feel good about, bro. I really wouldn't. Where I'm at mentally, I would not feel good about that.
Right.
And I'm gonna be real. I'm the type of dude that even if he was to come at me, I may tag him up a little bit and say, "Go on, man! Like go on about you," because I know if it gets serious, I black out in them fight. We may start fighting over the dice game, but my mind goes to you. My mama kidnapped my daughter. Everything lies on this fight.
Well, that seems a little extreme.
No, this is my mental,
right?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because coming up as a Paru in the system, and my area wasn't popular. In my area, it's popular now. When you walk in there, you had to be damn near out of your mind to let that come out your mouth. Y'all number 5, 6 to 1. So you had to tune into your mental, right? Numb yourself, reach deep down inside, and find that extra to be able to go in there and do that. Because a head up was like, if you got a 3-on-1, that's close you got to a head up.
Well, I'm glad that we've established that I'm essentially like the battered wife who keeps coming back for more from my abusive husband, Bricc Baby.
Yeah. I mean, shit looking serious, bro. I'm glad that No Jumper had my back for the first time.
With what?
Because every time something comes out about me, right, or allegedly bullshit, right, it goes up. So I'm watching yesterday and the other day, and I see they're reporting on Big U calls Donald Trump the orange guy and thinks he can use the president to get out of this, right?
This is probably the most retarded theory I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, he probably think he can get a hold to a certain person that's accessible to
Donald Trump has pardoned quite a few rappers and a lot of people in general. None of them have been for murder.
Yeah. Well,
which not to mention, he hasn't even been found guilty of, never mind, gone to trial. So
none of them been looking at 600 years.
And
that's crazy, right? So I'm sitting back saying, oh, they can report on this, but then I seen it. The AUSA, the DA, whatever they call them in the feds, said, you said Wack 100 and 600 were working for the feds and has something to do with your case. And that is an outright lie. We go on record. We have no dealings with those. And you said these things to put a target on their back. So because he said it and they know it's not to be true, they like, you said, so they saying you're still trying to operate within violence. This is what they're saying.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
The justice system having your back, kind of nice.
No, it's not even about having my back. It's about when that DA go on record saying that's a lie. If the defense attorney could if they lie, and that defense attorney turns around and could show otherwise, right? It helps them on their side, right? But I said finally, because what that was the drowning man trying to pull up everybody down with him. That's what that was. Basically. And when people read the paperwork, I think people really don't know how to read, right? Because when he looks in the camera and says, "Cause I ain't did nothing."
Right.
But you read the paperwork and you see January 2023, the feds question your wife about a murder. June 2023, the feds serve a warrant on you for your DNA. August 2023, the feds arrest you, your wife, and a lady named Nita for some type of fraud type of stuff. So in 2025 of March, we just gonna leave it right there. When you look in the camera and say, this is Wack 600 in loose cannon, because I ain't did nothing. Boy, you'd have been hemmed up 4 times in the last 2 years by the FBI. What do you mean? You didn't do nothing.
It's hard to say you ain't done nothing.
You're oblivious, like you're supposed to look in the camera and say, well, I had a few situations going on, boom, 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 bam. So, it's crazy, when you read these type of things and you scratch your head, you say, damn, that hate is really real, bro.
What do you feel about Christopher Lovejoy actually going to the Big U bail
Shout out to the exposers. The exposers found that court date maybe about 8 o'clock that morning.
Really? And so that was last minute.
Yeah, informed 600 that his court date was at 11:30.
That is some flagrant shit for him to do, given the reputation that Big U and the people associated with him have. The fact that Lovejoy is so fearless that he just shows up.
Okay.
This feels like a provocation. Like he's trying to get somebody to do something to him.
No, here's the thing. He's in there because he want to hear what's going on.
Okay. So he's an independent journalist.
He want to know what's going on, and that's how we was able to know what went on before the documents came out, before the minute orders came out, because he was in there. You know what I mean? Like I got to record when they approached him in the hallway. I got all that content.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got the content.
He recorded it?
Oh, well, you got the content.
Someone else recorded it? Someone there? Why didn't you go? You could have gone, right?
Well, I was out of town. I don't really deal with court buildings unless I got to take somebody's wife or mother or kids, stepping into the court.
It's 6-0 business,
or
right?
I got to go.
You don't want to involve yourself.
Or I got to go support, my people. I'm gonna be real, man. When it comes to everything Big U got going on, that's what he had going on. But I'm not, it kind of like, it fucked me up to see he was looking at 600 years. You know what I'm saying? Because did
600 request that?
No, I don't know what the hell that's
give
about.
Give him 600 years. They call me 600, give him 600 years.
You got to remember, when I hear that, my mind goes back to like his daughter, you know what I'm saying? And his kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially the last 2, Dayon and Cherish, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think about that. I don't got that type of malice in my heart to be like, yo, give him life or give him 600 years or whatever. He was doing whatever he was doing.
But you were kind of celebrating him having this case before it was announced publicly.
No, I didn't. I never celebrated it.
You sort of preemptively celebrated it.
How? How was I celebrating?
You were talking about it on here. You were like ranting and raving about how he was going down, and then it actually happened.
No, I never. No, I said I've always said the grid program, and the grid program's in there.
Right.
We've been advocates of that. That's what that is. And we don't agree with what that stands for, being a street dude in the street, because you playing both sides of the fence. It's like, all right, on this side, I'm this, but then when I get into it with these dudes on these blocks, right, I can use that. You get what I'm saying? If you ran the grid, I wouldn't have nothing to say, because you're walking a different walk. But a dude that's calling himself running the hood and you doing things, bro, you can't be in business with the police department.
Right.
You can't, and nothing about it makes sense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So on that, we've always stood on that. As far as when we heard about the murder and the did the investigation. Hey, bro, you know one thing. You know when the troll is on, the troll is on.
I hear that. I tried to.
The troll is on.
So the victim's mother, Rayshawn's mother, actually did TMZ and spoke about her experience, saying that she wants him to fry. She says she wants him to fry in jail for the rest of his life, which I think she's like kind of mixing metaphors right there, because that's not really when they say they want him to fry, they're talking about the death penalty typically. Either way, but I reached out trying to lock in an interview with her and was told that they don't want anything to do with anything that has anything to do with Wack 100.
Well, maybe because I didn't give them no money.
Well, also you exposed the whole thing before it came out, which they asked you not to.
Listen, and I tell people this. This is real shit. My phone rings at least 50 to 80 times a day with all kind of shit. Other morning, some dude called me 6 in the morning. Yo, Wack, I'm in the halfway house. Don't hang up. I got a story. And I said, okay, what's your name? He tells me, I'm on the phone with the dude an hour. This dude, I got to send you this shit for your channel. This is the most hyped, excited snitch I've ever heard. He's proud of being a snitch. He told about everybody he snitched on, why he snitched, and said he's in the halfway house trying to snitch down his 2 years of federal parole he has. Like, this dude was so excited. I'm like, damn. I said, you know what? You don't mind me recording this, bro, because the kids need to hear this. I got it. When I send you this, you're going to trip out, bro.
The kids need to hear it so that they understand how much people are snitching.
Bro, this dude was an authentic street dude, all that. He would go out, right, and get a dude and say, bro, you should be a pimp. Turn him on to pimping just to snitch on him and turn him in and get the money.
Right. Wow.
He would create a criminal to tell on the criminal.
Build-A-Bear.
Straight up, bro. This shit is diabolical, and he's happy about it.
Wow. Last of a dying breed.
Yeah, so, you know, but nevertheless, it's a lot going on. Bricc, I don't know when he go back to court. Loose Cannon, we can't find his minute orders to his thing, so I don't know.
Did you hear Sharice Mills and Munchie screaming at each other over the phone?
Yeah, I've seen that. Munchie, I gotta say, Munchie was doing
on go.
right.
He was on go.
No.
He was ready.
Munchie said 2-3 times, could you stay in a woman's place? I'm talking to your man.
Right.
So, you know, at that point, when you tend to go there, and I heard Munchie say, all right, you want to play his own. So I'm waiting to see. Munchie up to something. I don't know what.
She was defending the color of her bathwater pretty intensely.
No, but that came after like twice.
But I mean, she does have a good point that it could have been a bath bomb.
No, I didn't.
Like, imagine her just being so dirty that she just made the water all brown.
I don't know. I don't believe she's dirty, but I believe in that situation, Munchie and Luce was doing their thing. I believe right now, Loose Cannon is starting to understand is certain things he can't say on that phone. Really? So he was kind of handicapped. That was a reserved Loose Cannon. You know what I'm saying? You notice you didn't hear about him, what he'd do to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
It is weird. Okay, when I see a situation like that, or when I see stuff going on with, T-Rell be beefing with somebody and his girl's all up in the mix and shit, I'm so thankful that I got a girl who's kind of reserved.
Mine ain't doing none of that.
All she does is fuck random guys on camera. She doesn't get involved with the beef, which I really appreciate.
Mine don't even do that.
See? Okay, there you go. Yeah. You really got the best of both worlds, yeah. Actually, no, your girl's in the beef.
Huh?
I mean, she's in the beef really just as supporting you. Like, she'll make a post about you when people are talking shit about you, and she don't celebrate you and talk about how great you are, but she doesn't get in and say, hey, fuck you, bitch ass.
And trust me, she has a mouth. She is well trained, Hunterside trenches trained. That woman could talk some crazy stuff.
Right.
She didn't pack me up before. Well, I'm looking at the phone like, did she just say that to me? I swear to God.
But you tell her that you don't want her, getting in the mix and screaming on everybody that you consider an op. You don't need that.
I've never had to tell her that. That's just her. You got to remember, this side of R&B when it comes to me is a learned thing. Her initial step is to be a certain way. A classy lady. You know what I'm saying? She was an ordained minister. She can marry people. She knows the book like the Bible like the back of her hand.
So
had her
she
own
was
church.
A minister, like
she had her own church.
In church. Wow, it must be weird for the people who used to go to her church to listen to you talk about her so much?
You should see her Facebook.
Isn't a minister not supposed to have sex? Or I guess that's a priest.
You should see her Facebook. The people on there is crazy.
Really?
It's a mixed thing. You got some people like, girl, I wish I can be free and unlocked like you. Look like you're having fun, enjoying. Then you got the other ones like, I can't believe you.
I could imagine, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Traditional Mississippi people probably looking at her like, whoa.
Yeah, she don't give a She don't care. But so, her first step is always to be a decent woman. But, she can talk, but she just understands man business, man business, man business. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So Munchie was attempting to do that. He was. I seen him.
Right.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
was crazy because as soon as, really Luce started it. Like, there was no chance of that being a civil conversation because he started screaming some peanut butter shit right away.
But see, this is what's weird.
Which now we know that everybody's getting peanut buttered.
No, I don't know nothing about that.
No, there's a lot. It's a whole thing.
This is what's
taking
weird.
over LA.
No, this was weird.
I'm a peanut butter somewhere on the streets.
Munchie was on a live in the back with a few other people.
Okay.
Might have been Flacco, Remo, or something.
Okay.
And Luce called in. And it was cool.
Even with Munchie there?
Munchie was there.
Oh, okay.
So this is why I be like.
Maybe he didn't know he was there.
No, he talked to him.
Oh.
Munchie was talking, so I'd be like, but damn, y'all was just cordial back here. Like, what happened here?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a couple weeks ago.
But I feel like every time Munchie's been on camera, it's been with me. Mostly.
It was in the back. It was Remo. I know for sure. Munchie came in late. He was sitting behind Remo. Somebody from maybe Long Beach was in. I don't know.
Yeah, we got some Long Beach.
Yeah, it was a few people back there, and it was in the back, and it was live.
I'm going to Long Beach tomorrow and do a podcast with the Viral Way.
Oh yeah, I see that. I see.
You seen that?
They're at it right now.
And Brandon.
No, yeah, they're at it right now. I seen that too.
Oh man,
they're at it right now. I see what the Hispanics.
They're out here just making noise. They're really
no. But here's the thing, though, right? I think everybody, especially them, and those some intelligent brothers. Mm-hmm. I've been watching them, right? And I salute them on what they're doing. I think they're going a long way. Shout out to the Viral Way. I respect.
That's like alternate universe figmunity, where instead of just beefing with each other, they actually are like paying attention to the news and having real conversations.
I think they're starting to see like, okay, Wack, don't be the one starting some of this shit. They really antagonize it, and then when I respond, Adam, when we respond, we sit back, we think about how we're gonna respond, and it's an explosion. So we respond so big, it's like we look like the bullies, like we started it. No, I'm responding, and it's crazy when I think they said something about the blacks are holding the Hispanics back in the rap.
There was another Hispanic-led podcast, which I don't actually remember the name of, and they said basically that Mexicans would be bigger in the music industry if black people weren't holding them back, that blacks like to keep them in their place.
Okay, now here's the thing. Here's the thing with that, right?
They weren't feeling that. Here's
the thing. Don't justify your weakness through our strength.
Right.
See, it's some things they're stronger at us than, in this world, right?
And since when are the black residents of Los Angeles in the music community united in any way? In fact, they have the opposite reputation that there's constant infighting and the gang shit makes it almost impossible for everybody to get along.
We're going to kill all that.
Okay.
We're dealing in the world of DSPs, the digital era.
Right.
Right? So when you put your music out, your fans that's to the liking of your music, they respond by your following.
And there are a lot of Mexican rappers from Southern California who have big organic fan bases.
Yeah. I watch Coyote grow. Coyote
not them so much, but
Coyote
people,
growing about 18 to 22% a quarter in their numbers.
Sure. Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is they haven't stopped. So you can cry and complain about it, or you could just keep digging at it. Now, let's be real. When we're talking rap music, God damn it, that's our culture.
Right.
That's Negro black culture.
Look at all of the black people who helped elevate Shoreline Mafia. People like TK and, all these other people who worked at Atlantic, culture, who got them signed, all this type of shit. It's like...
I don't care what you're talking about. That's our culture. Say what you want. That is our culture. If we stepped over there trying to do the mariachi bands,
right?
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the same response that y'all get over here. We'll get over there.
The black
That's
community,
your culture.
Black like elder statesmen in the LA hip hop scene don't really even like support up and coming black artists. Is that's the theme that people often discuss and say that the community doesn't help each other enough in general. I don't really think it's split along racial lines. Imagine if I were trying to make that argument about white people.
Listen, when
We've
we
got
talking
essentially zero relevant white rappers in the history of LA hip hop.
but we got one in the grace, Eminem, right?
The LA.
No, yeah, LA. But here goes the thing, right?
Not LA.
Here goes the thing, right? And I'm gonna claim it. Stand-up comedy, our culture.
What?
Jazz music, our culture.
You're telling me black people invented stand-up
we
comedy?
dominate over there.
I mean, there's a lot of different segments of
we dominate as black people in stand-up comedy. If you ask who are the top 5, top 10, it's gonna be Negro. You may throw George, what's his name? What's our guy name? He's pretty good. He's funny. George Torres, George Lopez, right? Other than that, bro, you ain't getting around Red Fox, Richard Pryor, goddamn, the list goes on and on.
ChatGPT, let's see what it's got to say. Top 10 current stand-up comics.
Top 10 comics, period.
Wait.
Comedians, period.
Okay, I don't want to. Why is Ali Wong is number 1?
I'll put Cat Williams up there against whoever they think their top 5 is.
Top 10 biggest
they can rotate out.
Stand-up comedians. I don't want to go based on critical acclaim.
Bro.
ChatGPT is woke.
Bro,
they gave me an Asian woman as number 1. I don't believe it.
Stand-up comedy.
I said biggest and they gave me her again.
Hold on. Let's. I'm going to piss them off now.
She's not.
Stand-up comedy.
How is Dave Chappelle number 2 to Ali Wong?
Look, that's some bullshit.
What the
Stand-up comedy, rap music, R&B music, roster music, and I'm going to go there.
That's a D.
Basketball, football,
right?
Boxing. We might go neck and neck because there's some strong Mexican boxers in the lightweights.
I asked ChatGPT to give me the non-DEI
Boxing is the only one we can have a legitimate argument about. Straight up. No, because they got some Mexican boxers that was Thundercats.
You know, I'll give it to you that Dave Chappelle's number 1. Bill Burr, number 2. Nate Bargatze.
Man, I don't know nothing about none of them people.
Andrew
bro.
Schultz, number 4. Doug Stanhope. There's a lot of white people right
Williams.
here.
Listen.
Brad Williams sounds like a white guy.
Bro.
Mark Norman, definitely white. Tom Segura, Joe List, Burt Kreischer. This is almost all white people besides
bullshit.
Dave Chappelle.
We dominate that over there.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, I did ask for the DEI free version. So
now, I'm going to tell you what else we dominate
Who's
at.
Ali Wong?
I'm going to tell you what they dominate at. The tattoo industry.
Look at this. This woman.
I give it to them. I think it's more, I don't know who that is, but I'm not even having that discussion about somebody named Ali Wong over Richard Pryor's, Eddie Murphy's, Red Fox's, Steve Harvey's, Dave Chappelle's. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I'm just
now,
not willing to accept that this Ali Wong character is bigger than Dave Chappelle. Come the fuck on.
I mean, what are we talking about right now, bro?
I mean, the trailer for her most recent special has 338,000 views,
cool.
which I don't think is probably, enough to, I mean, granted, that's the trailer.
Goddamn Nick Cannon. Shit.
Nick Cannon's
That's a
stand-up
fact.
comic? Oh, yeah, she went on Hot Ones 6 months ago. It has 1.5 million views. I'm sorry. If Dave Chappelle goes on Hot Ones, it's getting like 15 million views. This is the number.
Okay, look, I'm going to give you a run. You tell me when to stop.
Not an
Dave
expert.
Chappelle, Whoopi Goldberg, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Monique, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock,
You looked
Bernie
up an
Mac,
all-black list.
Tracy Morgan, Wanda Sykes, Jamie Foxx, Tiffany Haddish.
This is all black.
Cedric Entertainer, Cat Williams, D.O.U. Tell me where you going. Like Chris Tucker.
What did you look?
Kevin
What did
Hart,
you look up?
Steve Harvey. Come on, bro. Come on. Damon Wayans. I could keep going.
What did you search?
Arsenio Hall, Charlie Murphy, Ricky Smiley. It just keeps going and keeps going
Yeah,
and keeps going.
Blacks, dope.
I ain't got to the Wayans.
Blacks
brothers.
go hard. We know.
Now.
We know. Especially
will tell you where
were
you-
doing the whole sports conversation while I was looking that up.
I will tell you
we
where
get
they
it. You're
dominate
genetically
on us,
superior.
right?
Not you, but others.
I give them soccer. I give them tattoo artists.
The blacks just haven't infiltrated soccer. Let's be real.
That's right. Probably
matter
not
of
our
time.
thing in sport. I give them soccer. I give them tattoo artists. and I give them cocaine distribution. We done took over the marijuana our damn self because now it's going from here to there.
Do you think Mexicans dominate tattooing?
Yeah, I believe it's more of them than us.
I've never heard of that. Well, maybe more than black people.
Yeah.
I guess. Like anecdotally, maybe
it's more of them than us.
Yeah. Okay. What about white people? What do we get at?
You guys good at being the owners.
Oh, well, thank you. We've been around for a long time.
So. No, this real shit. When you look at listen,
we have a little bit of a head start.
Listen, the players on the field win the game.
Right.
The owners create the game.
Okay.
This was real. I ain't taking nothing from. We got some dominant white players are usually in position of a quarterback, so on and so forth. But we still dominate that. But when it comes to the owner side of it, this is where our mentality is. We got to step our game up. We dominate the field too much.
Similar theme. So there's a Los Angeles-based clothing designer who goes by the name of Blasey, and he went on AD's stream. And there's a guy who does podcasts or streams with AD. His name is Hove. He's some sort of Crip. And Blasey used the N-word. He's Mexican. He used the N-word, just like, oh, this N-word, blah, blah, blah.
The regular N-word.
Regular, not a hard R. Hove starts pressing him hard, like basically like really kind of disrespecting him.
Hove been to the joint?
That's probably. He's a gang member, so for sure. Something like that. I would say he's probably done at least a little bit of time.
If dude would have been his homeboy, he would have heard it different.
But that's what a lot of people were saying is like Duno says the N-word, but you're out here pressing this dude Blasey because you're looking at him like a weak link.
Is Duno his partner?
Duno, he's part of the community thing with AD and everything, so they're not going to give him a hard time about it, but because they don't know the Blasey dude, they're giving him a hard time.
I don't know if Duno does. I don't know if you're just trying to spin a narrative on it.
No, this is all real.
But if we got an essay that hang with us all the time, right? That's our homie. We're going to hear it different. If I walk in the store and a dude just straight tell me, what's up, nigga? I'm going to hear that different.
Yeah, it does sound crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But if it's a cat that's our partner, we're going to hear it different.
Okay.
That's all it was. So, I'm pretty sure dude probably been to the joint.
But so there's a big conversation going about that right now. And there's a conversation about like, are the black dudes who are standing up for this Mexican saying the N-word, are they basically, not doing their true duty as black people?
Those just sort partners, of right?
Yeah.
That's why.
Right.
His homeboys is going to be like, hey, homie, you cool. Because
the thing I hate
got that top of bond.
The thing I hate about it is that it's like, I've seen this a million times where the dorky little Mexican kid who says the N-word is going to get pressed and they're going to give him a hard time. And then the dude who's like real tough and shit, nobody's going to give him a hard time about it. So it's like the same rule should apply to everybody.
If you sit down with a real Mexican, a real Sureño, they're going to be totally against saying the word, period.
Well, I think they're pretty mixed on it at this point.
Not when you find
There's
them
both
ones,
sides.
Not when you find them Southsiders with them politics. I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't want us getting comfortable saying words that they take as disrespect.
But they don't even got any cool words.
Huh?
Like what words do the Mexicans say that we want to co-opt?
It don't matter. Like,
it's not like we're trying to be out here calling each other BEANERs.
But it's
not like that. Like nobody has even thought of that. Imagine me walking in and calling you that.
They don't even want to be in a situation where a person's saying, well, because y'all said that, we said this.
Yeah, but they don't got no cool slang.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's a universal word, period. I'm just telling you, the cats that do know is not going to hear it as disrespect. But a dude that don't know him is going to hear it as disrespect, especially if he been to the joint.
Okay.
He going to think he playing with him.
Right. I don't know. Anyway.
You know what I'm saying, my nigga?
So, see, that sounds hard. I can understand why people want to say that. What if I said it? What if like I was hanging out with you and your homies enough that I just started kind of slipping it in there?
They would stop and look at you. My team here.
I don't want to say it to G. Wayne.
No.
That's going to be awkward. He's way too established. He's a grown, respectable black man. That's
my team that knows you is going to stop and look at you.
They're still, even though they f with me, they're still going to look at me like, bro, come on.
No, they not. They're going to laugh.
Yeah.
Because they're going to think you're going to support.
That's even worse.
They kind of know your personality, right?
They're going to know I'm trolling.
Yeah, they're going to stop and look at you. Now, you would have took your ass down there to the 40 Hood Day with 4 extras.
You think they would have been
They just said it? Oh, yeah, some of them old dudes would have probably got the tripping.
Maybe.
Some of them triple OGs would have got the tripping.
I feel like they might have been like, oh, f it, he's here.
No.
He's here. Let's do it. They would have put me on the spot.
Because some of them wouldn't have wanted you there. And that would have gave them a reason to really speak their mind.
Well, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the fact that 4 Extras couldn't help. He's like a bee to honey.
Bro, I told him.
He had to go to the hood day.
I told him, bro. I told him that day. I got it on my phone.
I don't want to laugh at my friend getting locked up, but at a certain point, you got to be like, all right, bro.
What did I say?
This is ridiculous.
I said on that podcast, I said, bro, it's a setup. They let you out before your hood day. They tried to give you the 180. Your attorney got the 150. You did half of that. They let you out because they know you're going to violate. They're going to max you out. Don't go.
The clip of us talking about it has like 250,000 views. So you can't even say like, oh, maybe he just didn't see us talking about it. And it's not like we were the only ones.
He wasn't going to go.
People from his hood were insisting to him that he not go, and he still wasn't able to stop himself.
That's a fact. Listen, not only did I talk to him, right?
Yeah.
I said, yo, bro, don't. He told me he wasn't going to go, right? I called Baby Runner. I say, Baby Runner, I can't be the only one in his ear.
Yeah.
Y'all from his neighborhood. He said, Wack, I've been telling him every day. You see where I'm at, right? So I called Pee Wee. But he don't count because he all in the video talking about why y'all messing with that black man.
Oh, he was in the video?
Yeah, he in the video talking about why y'all, Pee Wee, you on some BS, right? Shout out to my guy, Pee Wee. But when we came out of doing the pod and stepped out, and I looked at my phone and saw him standing there, what scared me the most is bro was standing there like it was no big deal. Did you see that when they had him cuffed?
Yeah.
He was just standing there like, hey, get my this.
No,
this.
I felt he looked kind of like surprised and upset, like he thought this wasn't going to happen. Which that was shocking to me. It's like you knew, you should have known this was going to happen.
Now, this what they tell me. This where I got a bone to pick with him at.
Okay.
They tell me he was at another park prior to this park.
Oh.
Same day. Police come through 10 minutes after he there. Nephew, get away. Right? Hold on. He gets away from that park.
Right.
And heads to this other park. But guess what's going on? The PO
he's
is watching the dot. So when he got to this other park, they say the PO was already in the parking lot.
Oh, so the PO's following him, not just...
They seen it. Look, he sent him to the other part. 4 Extras got out of there before they can get to him. But he's watching them beeline to the other park. So the PO is already at the second park. He like, if they don't get him here, he's going to come over here. Dude said, Wack, when I went to the liquor store, right before 4 Extras pulled up, I seen his PO in the parking lot. He telling me this. So when 4 Extras gets there, he sees him, simply calls for his little backup and walks over there. That's him standing on the side of him.
Right. Did you see in that interview that we did, the one interview that we were able to get in while he was a free man, that he was saying, fuck my PO.
Yeah, I heard all
And
that
I'm telling him, I'm like, don't you not want to say him because this is basically the person who's deciding if you're going to go to jail or not? And it felt like that idea was so foreign to him, he couldn't even process that.
I'm gonna be real, you know, we all got a homeboy like 4 Extras.
Well, up until recently, I really didn't. This was really like a new experience for me to have somebody who's that insistent about going back to jail.
We all got one that's like
somebody like Bricc. Like, okay, he made a bunch of bad decisions. He's sitting on the podcast with a gun hanging out of his waist, but it's not like that. Like, he's moving around in an intelligent way, even if he is making some bad decisions along the way. 4 Extras is just a bull in the China shop, full steam ahead, doing everything he wants to do with no consideration about if it's going to get him locked up.
Well, now I'm hoping he maxes out June 1st. Yeah, I told you in our pod, I said, bro, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Is he does this 60-day thing standing on his head.
Yeah, you don't give a
We're
fuck.
under the 60. So remember I said every day that he's free, he cares less and less about what he's doing. Oh, I'm down to 47 days. I could, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be goddamn. When he came up on the 1st, it was out of 10 days.
I don't even know.
Second?
I think it was less than a week.
Yeah, it was something.
Because I did the interview with him, and I think he was locked up like 4 or 5 days later. Because we were going to run it back. Like, we had plans. He was going to go to the zoo with Traplo Ross. Nope, he's locked up the day before that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Yeah,
you know.
Wait, but okay. I wanted to say, did you see when we were talking about the viral way guys and everything? I don't want to play the full clip, but did you see this argument between Almighty Suspect and Brandon?
I seen the whole argument.
It was insane. I mean, I guess,
Brandon started it.
Okay, Brandon called suspect out for allegedly saying the hard R. That's how it started.
But then he called him, I think he called him a bitch or something.
No, well, I think suspect started calling him a bitch.
No,
he started
he
calling
said
him
it
weird,
first.
and then he started calling him a bitch.
And then towards the end, so I told her, I'm telling R&B as we're watching it, right? I said, suspect is going to jump up any second and call dude out. For real, I said, I know, nephew. He hot-headed.
He did.
And I seen it. She said, oh, my God. He did, right? Twice.
Yeah.
So, I see he does some type of jujitsu or something like that.
So he's been doing Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu for over 10 years. He's a black belt. He claims that he was a world champion at a certain point. We watched the video.
But he got to grab him.
True, but he's also doing Muay Thai. He seems like a very big, solid, strong dude. So if he only did jiu-jitsu, then I guess you could maybe say that he would lose in like a fight, whatever. But I feel like anybody who does 10 years of jiu-jitsu is going to be doing some striking along the way. Let's take a look at the comments and see where the audience is at on this. So these are the top comments. Suspect acts like yelling is his superpower. Sus took a big L. Never let someone get you emotional like that. The way suspects acting overly animated and shouting.
How we take an L when he calls Sus out? Don't call him. He told suspect.
Suspect called him
No,
out.
he didn't.
At first, yeah. He opened the door and was trying to tell him,
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. You're a liar.
I watched the whole thing on stream yesterday. What
You
are
want to
talking
bet?
about? Yes.
Let's bet.
Yes.
Let's bet.
Am I right? Suspect was
50
holding the
push-ups.
door open and saying,
50 push-ups. White. Shut up, white guy.
No.
50 push-ups. Okay, run it back.
boom. I don't know if this is the full clip,
It started from the chat. The chat said something about fighting, and he said he don't want to fight.
No, he told them.
Put it on, bro. You know exactly
He
what
said
point.
that he didn't want to fight. We can do the 50 push-ups next time. I don't want to watch this whole clip because I already reacted to this one time.
He knows where it is.
No, as soon as they sat down and they got into the argument, suspect started opening the door and saying, we could go outside and fight right now. Brandon doesn't want to fuck up his no jumper situation, so he was saying,
that's some
I'm
punk
not gonna
shit.
do that.
No, he ain't. He called suspect out.
And then
don't call nobody
later
out. You
on
don't
in the
want to
conversation, Brandon started saying, like, okay, we can go fight right now.
No, nephew marked dude out. He called him, he said it. Bro, it's a part right there where somebody reads the screen about fighting, and he tells suspect he don't want to fight. That's what he don't want to do.
No, I think you're
Bro, find it. This is a fact.
I just don't want to run through the whole.
No, I told nephew to find it. We can come back to it.
Watch.
If you go to show me, if you go to transcribe, open the comments, Control F, put fight, it'll highlight all the words, times where they say fight. With
I mean, we could even.
Bro, all you got to do is go to when you open the door and back it up 30 seconds.
Look at. Wait, we got no audio.
Oh shit!
The day here, we got some random fat.
Look, this is the very beginning. He's already calling him a random fat N-word.
That's cool. That's just pie.
I'm a light-skinned nigga. You know what we do here. Supposedly, I call you with the whole.
It's gonna keep going. All you gotta do is go to where he got up and then come back.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, he's gonna get up.
I heard you speak. I heard it.
But wait, so are we in agreement? Because suspect gets up, opens the door, and tries to usher him out.
That's because he called suspect out.
Jesus Christ, this is so loud on my headphone.
He called suspect out. That's why he jumped up.
He called him out after suspect tried to initiate the fight.
He called him out before suspect jumped up. He said he read it off the chat. Somebody in the chat instigated it. And big dude said he don't want to fight. That's what he don't want to do. And suspect said, what? We could get out right now.
Well, he did say suspect doesn't want to fight. And then suspect
said it first.
And then Brandon said, listen, we can do this at another time, but I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to do this at no jumper. This is a business.
You don't want to fight. He just called him out. He called him out first.
Listen, by the end of the podcast, Brandon was making it abundantly clear that he now really feels like a fade is owed to him.
Listen, the minute you say you don't want to squabble, and he jump up and say, let's get down, and you don't get your ass up.
Okay, in that moment, you're right. He did not immediately get his ass up because he was wanting to respect the nature of the podcast. But all I'm saying, Brandon was sitting there cool as a cucumber. He was not, he didn't look like he was breaking a sweat.
Who?
Brandon, the white t-shirt guy here.
That's cool, but I'm saying if he would have never said he don't want to fight, suspect would have never jumped up.
The astonishing thing to me is the fact that this stuff, like people think we script this. People think that we're
don't know this gonna
engineering
happen.
this. Somehow we put two dudes. It's not even like a big group of people getting into a confrontation.
You got a well, I don't know what Brandon is. We got our guy right here, nephew. He's a white dude. He's Josh.
Timu 22.
We got Josh, Almighty, who's neutral. He's not a gang member.
Right.
And we got, I feel like a civilian type dude.
Did you see suspect arguing with Jalise though?
I seen that one.
I mean, does this feel like
That's
it's
when
kind
she
of
jumped
becoming
up,
like
right?
a pattern? Where
That's where she jumped up?
Like he's getting into these like extremely intense arguments, seemingly like every time he gets on camera. Not every time, but like a
That's
lot.
when she jumped up, right?
That was bad because he was going in on her about pretty much like every extreme thing.
That day I started with her. I said she got some heart.
Yeah, she don't give a.
She a little burned out.
But they
She
can't
a
be
little
on.
gang member too. I think Creep was in there that day.
I don't think she's a gang member, but I think she fucks with so many gang members, and there's
She
people
from Stockton
feeding her
or something,
information and shit. Yeah, she's from around there.
People stop. Well, she got mad because suspect was right.
What?
She called her cousin. That was in the feds. It was a question about something about the feds. And the cousin answered in favor of suspect. And once that happened, suspect went to the roof.
I might not have seen the full context of that.
It was something about some check paperwork. And she said no. And suspect said, hell yeah, they do. She said, my cousin just got out. She called him. Did people check paperwork? He was like, yeah.
Yeah, of course they do. Wes Watson was keeping it in his butthole.
Yeah, so that's how that started. But you know, hey, that suspect.
Why
man,
would they not check paperwork in the feds? That's like
Man,
the
listen.
one thing that it seems like they
Shout
talk
out to
about.
Jalise, I with it, but she was wrong on that one.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you look, man, everybody on No Jumper, they're here for their alter ego, their personality, and their character. Straight up. So let's be real. The closest thing we had to a suspect was a Bricc when the troll got to him, and we got him emotional. We get Bricc emotional. Like, I got him emotional that one time he was on that couch. Oh, man, that was when he said he was going to put Kill Squad in the streets and start crying and said, hey, this bitch ass Wack 100, he started making that face.
Wait, you're taking credit for that? Wasn't he was mad at DW on that?
No. We was trolling him about what happened. DW had let it go. And then I kept trolling him about the case, right? And he keep mentioning this case. I don't know how he knows about these cases and don't nobody else know. And that's another thing I've been hearing. I heard this dude, what's this dude? Al Prophet, the white dude.
Who's that?
That's his name?
Al Prophet.
Al Prophet. When you ready to sit down, let's sit down. Hit my DM, hit R&B's DM, let's sit down. Because he says, Wack 100, this dude right there, Wack 100 knows a lot of information, and we don't know how he knows it. You know what that sounds like to me? A hater. You're mad because I know information you don't know. Guess what, Al? I don't know about your cornfield stories.
Yeah,
Al.
He just hangs out in the cornfield.
Al, you are a white guy telling a black dude that I know about what's going on in the urban communities. You know what I'm saying? That's just as goddamn weird as you telling Dame Dash what black people like, right?
That's not what happened. But
That's I seen it. I seen the clip the other day.
Well, that's
it was fresh in my mind, right? Like Dame, like how are you a white guy go tell a black guy what black people want or what we like?
You're
right?
Dame Dash 2.0 for the record.
Oh.
This podcast, V1 of it was me and Dame Dash, and it lasted 3 episodes.
What you were never gonna survive with Dame.
As much of an intolerable asshole as you are, you're way easier to get along with than Dame Dash, and you're relatively successful, unlike him.
Yeah, you
Basically
wasn't gonna
broke.
survive with Dame because Dame's whole thing is to look at what you're doing and tell you you're not doing the very thing right that you're helping him out as you do it. That's Dame.
Yeah,
because Dame is still back there.
I think I could confidently say that I would rather do a podcast with Adolf Hitler than Dame Dash. Like his personality, he has the worst
I want to do one with Dame.
Wait, what happened to him as a YouTuber? He was going nuts as a YouTuber.
Yeah, I want to do one with Dame. Well, his teeth fell out. It was over with.
I don't think that
He
matters.
was clowning 50. His bottom greasy fell. He's out, and it was over with.
But do you remember
grip.
Dame Dash was making so much YouTube content commentating on Jay-Z for a while there.
He got to stop hating on Jay-Z.
But now
bro.
where's
You
his
know the
channel?
ugliest thing Dame Dash does? He says Jay-Z wasn't a friend because he did a song with R. Kelly, knowing what he did to my girl. But then you went and got in the video. Like, Dame, you got in the video.
This is Dame Dash's channel?
I don't
Change
know.
the Game TV?
It might sound
It
like
hasn't been
something.
updated in 7 months.
So he probably ain't doing it no more. Sound like something, you know.
But
probably
why,
wasn't.
like, it felt like he actually really had some motion. I don't know. If this
Well,
is
you
the
know,
channel or not, but-
it's hard for Dame to keep a working team around him.
yeah, because he's such a.
Yeah, you know, he gon', you know, that's Dame.
Well, okay. Thank you for at least agreeing with me that he's a huge dick, because when
he
me
burned
and,
out.
when me and Vlad say that he's an asshole, people attack us like we're the fucking Klan, and it
No.
is so self-evident to anybody who has ever watched him on camera that he is almost impossible to get along with.
Bro, it's only one world that Dame could survive in and be successful in. It
Rap
would have
mogul.
to be a world where he's the only human and it's a bunch of holograms walking around.
Right.
And they talk back, but they're holograms.
That's why it's so insane that people will constantly question, like, why did Jay-Z leave Dame Dash? You spend 5 seconds around him and you're like, oh, of course Jay-Z wanted to get the fuck out of here.
Dame read the book 48 Laws of Power, but he started at Law 2 and he never read Law 1.
What was one?
Never outshine the master. It sounds fucked up.
No, that's a big deal.
But if you understand it, right? You know, when I got ideas about No Jumper, what do?
Tell me.
I don't just try to do them. You see what I'm saying?
But Dame had just as much ownership of Rockefeller as Jay-Z. So from his perspective, he should be able to just do
You can
so.
have just as much ownership as you want.
as
But
much
who was the face of Rockefeller?
Okay, but Jay-Z became the star, but before it became successful, they were on the same level.
No.
They're both losers at a certain point.
No. Okay, Rockefeller was what? Initially,
And then Biggs also.
it was music. The
Yeah.
music spun off to products and whatever, right?
Right.
Who was the face and the voice of the music?
Well, obviously the rapper is going to be the face of it.
Okay, so Dame has to understand that. Watch this.
Watch this.
Dame Dash Jay-Z, Rockefeller. Who's expandable? Who's replaceable?
Everybody besides the star, clearly.
Which is Jay-Z.
Right.
He could put somebody else in this seat, whether they're better at it or not, right? The skills and talents that's going to attract the business, attract the crowd, attract the people is the artist. And Dame, he thought he was bigger than the program. Instead of just being a part of the program and being the foundation of the program, he didn't know how to swallow that ego before the fall comes to pride.
Right. And because, like, when you look at everything that Jay-Z's managed to accomplish throughout his career, I don't think he could have really done any of that if he had stayed with Dame Dash. Like, Jay owns like real respectable businesses, and that just wasn't going to happen if he still had Dame representing him going into boardrooms screaming at people.
Yeah, well, the people told him, best believe they told him to make a decision. Right. And I don't believe Jay-Z
So
made
you blame
it.
the Jews.
No, I don't blame them because it was Jay-Z's decision. And I believe his decision was first and foremost based upon selfishness, which he was supposed to practice at that time, for self and then his family, the betterment of his family, right? I'm not into this world of people saying, don't think you better than and don't be selfish. Bullshit. I'm better than a dope fiend. I'm better than a dude that ain't doing this, ain't doing that. And I'm going to be selfish in some situations because it takes me to be selfish to position myself to be able to help people around me. So you can't go into every day saying, hey, look, bro, we want to talk to you. And you like, well, I ain't going nowhere without. But then it's $100 million deal on the table, right?
No,
so, you know, at some point, you got to be that. I still think he's still bitter about the decisions he made. I think he knows he made some bad decisions and he just won't reset. But I want to like have one conversation. I want to do some business with Dame. I think we could do some business.
I feel like a lot of people have tried to do business with him, and it's proven very, very difficult.
He has some business that he could do right now.
Like what?
Paid in full too.
Yeah. Okay.
He can do that.
But is
right
he
now.
really required for that?
Who?
Does he own Paid in Full 1? Did he like produce that?
I mean, it just to be authentic because he did a great job at Paid in Full 1.
Okay.
I believe he did. So
what was he? Like he produced it, or he's one of the executive producers or something?
Yeah. And then Alpo's dead now.
Right.
So I believe he should, you know what I'm saying? I believe he should do Paid in Full.
You know what it really was, though?
As a series, though.
Dame Dash was cracking off as a YouTuber when Jay-Z had his lawsuit pending that was alleging that he was basically some kind of sex criminal. And then that goes away, and then we don't see Dame Dash on YouTube anymore. It's like nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, I didn't believe that thing about Jay-Z. It just didn't make sense. That don't seem like his character.
I don't know. Not my goat.
Yeah, that didn't seem like
now Shannon Sharpe. I don't know. Shannon Sharpe,
Nasty
he's a
Cook.
freaky frog.
There's nothing wrong with being a freaky frog. You are too.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm luckily not doing it with 19-year-olds for the most part.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with having sex with a 19-year-old.
That's true. But when you're doing
That's
it on
legal.
camera, at least I feel somewhat protected. If you're having freaky BDSM relationships with random 19-year-old OnlyFans girls, that might not necessarily be the best for business.
I think
he stepped down from ESPN.
No, I think that I just said that a couple hours ago. I think that where he went wrong at is he was falling into this. He was dealing with them young girls like that because he always wanted to feel dominant, right? He wanted that dominant role, right?
You don't need to say anything to explain to me why a man would want to fuck a 19-year-old hot OnlyFans girl. This is like human desire.
No, what I'm saying is this, right?
19, little young.
What I'm saying is people got to understand, you could be mid-stroke, and when she says no, if you take 5 more pumps, that's a rape.
True.
They even have marital rape. Just because that's your wife don't mean you can do it when you want to do it. With me, the word no is like a fuse box.
It's like a gong going off.
Everything shuts off.
Yeah. No, that's how you have to treat it for sure. But let's keep in mind, it's not like there's video recordings of the average sexual experience. So it's like these lines all get blurred, and it's super easy for a girl to say that.
No,
shit.
that text message is crazy.
Yeah. Well, but
I told you to wear rubber. I told you not to put it in my, and I told you no several times. And he responds, "We'll talk about it later." Mm-hmm. And then the audio of it'll be and I think he was just that they were playing. It'll be a big black dude choking a little white woman. So you put those together, and it's starting to look crazy. Put those together with Disney.
Right.
It's starting to look crazy.
Yeah, Disney ain't going for that.
Yeah. And I think with her, where she screwed up at was he offered her $10 million, right?
Crazy. That's way too much.
No, but I'm gonna tell you why. She screwed up. He offered the $10 million because he knew he had this $100 million play coming, right? So what she does is come at him with the $50 million and exposes it. Now that you had exposed it, he ain't gonna get the $100 million to be able to give you the $10 million. Nevertheless, the $50 million. She should have let him close the $100 million deal and then came at him. So you screwed him and screwed yourself.
Right.
He's not going to even have the 10 to give to you now.
She might not have the best business sense given that
you get what I'm saying?
Like 20.
She should have let him close the $100 million deal.
But she's tapped in with Busby, who's apparently some sort of goat at these things.
We wasn't a goat with shit. Our goat out-goated his ass.
Well, he failed with
Shout out Jigga.
Yeah.
Right? 444, best album in the world.
But Busby does have a lot of scalps. He's put in a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think they jumped the gun. They should have let him close that deal before exposing these things. At least get paid something up front.
But you know that this is easy ammunition for anybody who looks at the game and says, "Look what they did to R. Kelly. Look what they did to Jay-Z, or what they attempted to do to Jay-Z." I mean, the powers that be that want to basically strike down powerful black men. Shannon Sharpe easily fits into the mold that a lot of people
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real. This is I've been like really studying that. The more power you get, the more position you get, the more business you do, the simpler you have to be.
Yeah. A lot of truth to that. That's why all those Diddy
as
sex
that
parties
goes up, you have to dumb yourself down.
And that's why the Diddy party thing, like he gets so successful that his sex parties just keep getting crazier and crazier. Jay-Z had the right mentality. Is like you get way more low key as you become a billionaire.
Jay-Z ass would be. He would Beyonce. If he show up to the damn party, he's showing up to the party with Beyonce.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody gonna say they left with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? I believe in bringing sand to the beach.
Yeah.
You just gotta have something that's universal sand. Like, you know, some of y'all are stuck with what you stuck with because you've been with her for years and things have changed because she got comfortable. I'm bringing sand to the beach, bro. That's it. I'm like, you're not finna say no.
And that's why every time it creeps into my mind, like maybe I should have my own OnlyFans and I should just random girls and sell that content. And then I remember that because my wife is there every single time I shoot content, it basically is like a safety blanket that protects me from having to deal with, you know, potential vengeful, insane, psychotic women that might want to accuse me of whatever, because I've got Lena there as a hall monitor and someone who can basically like be there to say, no, this didn't happen. And as well as like the other employees, the filmer, etc. But you know, there's just too much risk associated with it when you're just fucking random women. And especially like her, she's got no skin in the game. She's not famous. You're such an easy come up for someone like Shannon Sharpe. But did you see that he, I guess, paid off some sum of like a couple $100,000 to a ESPN employee or cameraman that he choked out at one point? So it sounds to me like he's into this BDSM.
But
my concern, but that's not BDSM if you're just choking a random person on the job. But all I'm saying
he choked on the job.
I think so. I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall for the Busby propaganda machine that may or may not be in effect here, because you know this is what they do. They charge you with something and then they trickle out more and more bad news every day afterwards. A slow drizzle,
I believe,
until your reputation is in the dirt. I don't want to fall for that, but it does appear that maybe this has been a problem for him for a while.
I believe right now Shannon should just, I gave this advice to Puffy, he didn't take it. Shannon should just step out with his boyfriend and let people know I'm bisexual, but this is who I'm with. And every now and then I experience my wild side.
You think he's a zest monster?
I definitely think he's bisexual.
Why do you think that? Just because his pants fit weird or whatever, that one meme?
His mannerisms. His mannerisms, and I think he's bisexual. I mean, and
but you're not basing that on anything besides just the fact that
I thought I would never say.
He looks weird sometimes.
I'm gonna say something I thought I would never say.
Sure,
but I gotta keep it real. I listened to Tasha K the other day. Her take on Shannon.
She had a good one, and
she broke down how he takes. First, it was the stylist to the basketball games. Now he's taking the cameraman without a camera places. They both got their little boy bags going on, and he made a he's never out with women like that. He's always, he's taking. It ain't like he's taking his team. It's like these people, and they seem a little zesty. And he slipped. He slipped. You got the content, right? Because I got the content.
What content? We got the work.
I got the work.
What?
That's a fact.
Sex tape. Gay sex tape.
You want the work?
Sure. Send me the gay sex tape.
No. This right here.
Oh,
ain't no getting out of this. And this is right here. Tasha K. This was good content. I think I kind of became a first time I watched her content like this. But this shit is diabolical.
Listen, if you've been in a car accident.
Hold on, where's it at? This is diabolical, bro.
Okay.
I know where it's at. Perfect one. Okay.
You may forget some things, but you don't slip up and say things like this.
When Unc say he want to date younger men, they kill me. What they say? What the women? What? Yeah, when I said I want to date younger women, what I said? Oh, when I want to date.
See, this how this works, bro. When I go to talking about soul food,
that was
what's
a Freudian
good.
Slip right there.
Look, what's good when I go to talking about soul food, right? Because I don't eat like pig feet, chitlins, and hog maws.
You said you don't eat meat in general.
No, I don't. But even when I was like, I don't eat those things when it comes to the soul food, right? I'm never gonna be like, yo, you know what's bomb? Chitlins. I'm never gonna say, because my mind doesn't register that.
You know what's bomb?
Listen. You're weird.
I'm just not going to say that by accident, though. You're right. Yeah.
You're weird.
Well, I was saying it for.
But he said He said they're talking about Tracy Ellis, who dates younger men. He said, but when Unc talking about himself, want to date younger men, for your mind to register and say you want to date younger men. That's part of your mental, bro. You're in that lane. I agree with her. I gotta agree with her, bro. I gotta agree with her. We ran the content on the Hunter side, and I'm like, yo, you doing something. I believe he's bi. I don't think he's all the way. I believe he's bi.
Well, given how these things normally go.
I think for every 7 women he's with, he got 3 dudes.
Oh, that's a pretty solid ratio, though.
I don't know nothing about
that's not even really gay.
Being solid. I mean, I don't know what you talking
about. If you're fucking women 70% of the time, that's not gay.
No, any acts with man on man is gay.
Okay, fine. All right, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do, bro, when your little one gets big enough to go to a school and in a classroom where the other little crazy little kids understand where her dad's on YouTube saying this kind of shit?
She's gonna have to stand on business.
Oh, you might be employed. What's the dude that's finna fight nephew?
Suspect, send him to work with her?
No, the other dude.
Brandon?
Brandon might not start.
Maybe he's looking for a gig. Hey, you want to take my kid to school and stand there every day?
Do you not remember the type of kids that were in class 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade?
Yeah, no, they were pretty brutal.
Yeah, bro. Do you get it?
That's why we're gonna put Brandon in charge of her combat sports training. Yeah, for sure.
Straight up. That's a fact.
Definitely. So, I was gonna tell you, and I do think that we should really make a hard push to get Ye on this podcast. Now, that being said, it's going to be hard for me to have this conversation in such a way that I think that he will want to do that, because he has announced that he was, when he was a very young man, a throat goat.
Yeah. I heard that till he was 14.
He was slanging top.
Till he was 14.
Right, which is kind
his
of
cousin.
Disturbing. Yeah. How does it feel to know that about one of the goats of hip-hop?
When I first heard it, my mind went to, okay, he's about to release something. And within an hour or two, it was a song up, right?
Yeah, Dave once helped him write.
And it sounds like some Triple X Dion type old trippy red. What's the name of that movement with the black fingernails? What they call it?
Goth.
No, the other. Emo. Sound like some emo type music, right? And the crazy thing about Ye is Ye can do whatever he want and it doesn't matter.
And so you're going to put this in that bucket as well? Because when I was having this conversation in front of Munchie B, he made it clear this is the thing that pushed him over the line. He don't care about the KKK stuff, the Nazi stuff, whatever.
Listen,
you gay?
What I'm telling you is Ye can do and say whatever he wants and it doesn't. Know all it does? It sparks 10 different conversations.
Any fans that were still rocking with Ye up till the point that he's at now, I don't think that, having previously sucked dick as a 6-year-old is really going to
He said 6 to 14. So I'm going to say this.
That's a long time. That's almost a decade.
No, I'm going to say this, right? 3 out of 5 families, when dealing with the youth, some of those children, kids, relatives, brothers, sisters, whatever the hell you want to call them, was doing some shit that the world said you wasn't supposed to do.
Isn't this what you turned up on Hassan for saying? No. If there's 10 people in this room, 3 of them molest kids. No, you were like, no, we ain't doing that. That clip still goes viral all the time.
I'm not saying molest kids. I'm saying kids.
Okay, when kids are young, they do weird stuff.
They do weird shit.
Sometimes.
And I'm going to be real. A lot of the parents do shit that they shouldn't do, like this. Because I'm trying to save money on the gas bill. They make 2 brothers get in the shower together. Whatever.
I hope I'm never that down bad.
No, this is real shit.
Save like a nickel on water.
Those people that's watching me understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
They'll make 2 brothers get in the shower together, a brother and sister, one's 8, one's 6, or whatever. Y'all both getting that.
I used to take baths with my little sister all the time. Okay. It was regular shit.
Yeah, that's not regular shit.
It's not that weird.
I've never allowed.
When you're like 12 in school, they make you shower right next to the other dudes in school in gym class, right? That's the same shit.
I've never allowed my son to take a bath or shower with his sister.
I mean, it's not like it even would have crossed. I didn't even know what sex was, not to mention that it never crossed my mind.
But guess what? This is what happens. They see shit on TV. They see books, whatever shit on the phone. And next thing you know, in the shower, they experiment. This is real shit.
Well, that is what Kanye said, is that he was looking at his mom's magazines and they were sucking dick in those magazines, and that's why they chose to do it, which I think that's why it's so important that you keep kids away from porn. And
they probably did it to each other,
because I was thinking, I'm like, what kind of 6-year-old even knows about oral sex?
There's
like,
a lot of adults right now who are scared to admit it, right? That they experimented and or have walked in on people in their family experimenting, right? This type of shit happens, right? And another way of seeing it is, I think Ye's sitting back saying, okay, what firepower, what's left out there on me? My mother used to deal with women. Okay, I did some gay shit. What if my cousin wants to get paid $5,000 to go do a story on me? So fuck it. I'm gonna say it myself. I believe he's like, any and everything that ever happened to me is out there now. What you got to say? I'm untouchable. He's making it so because you did this. He already said that.
I think, he's a thought leader and an innovator to the extent where he wants to be the one pushing the envelope. And so he's kind of like one of the first people to really come out and say a bunch of negative shit about Jewish people as far as famous people goes. And he wanted that smoke. He wants to be the person who's having these conversations that some people have behind closed doors, having that out in public. Have we ever heard a rapper talk about anything like this before? I mean, not a rapper on his level at all.
No, well, you can't. Ye is he's in a realm of his own. I mean, when it came to producing, beat making, his creativity, his production, his rhymes, everything he just is with his clothing, his shoes. Ye he's a Martian. He's somewhere different, and I don't believe there's nothing that can tarnish him because he owns it and stands up on it, stands up to it. Now, I'd seen his rant about Kendrick.
Right.
He said Kendrick can't rap. Right?
Yeah. It's a little extreme.
He said Kendrick can't rap.
And Tyler.
And he said Top Dog has the same birthday as Hitler. 420. Okay.
365 chance.
Right. But here's the thing, right? I don't believe Kendrick is going to respond to Ye's rants until Ye delivers a song of substance that challenges Kendrick. He's going to totally ignore him.
Yeah, I don't think. Kendrick is notoriously almost impossible to bait into these sort of exchanges.
He's going to totally ignore.
He was happy to do it with Drake.
Because now,
Drake is of sound mind.
Well, that was that's like, okay, if I do this with Drake, there's a possibility I can up my level in the game.
I think Kanye wants that challenge. He wants Kendrick to diss him. He wants Tyler to diss him because he wants to do battle with the GOATs.
He has to deliver a song or Kendrick's gonna ignore him.
Maybe. But I feel like the likelihood of if Kanye drops a song where he disses Kendrick, it almost seems kind of unlikely that people are even going to pay attention to it at this point.
No, if it's a hard song, Kendrick is taking all fades. But if it's just some shit like, what is he talking about? He's going to go on about his business.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing about Kendrick too is that if Kanye drops a song tomorrow dissing him, actually, I can almost guarantee this even just based on what Kanye has already said. If Kendrick, next time he drops an album, which for all we know could be a year, 2 years from now, he doesn't seem like he's ever in a rush to drop a project. For sure, I think he'll have bars referencing Kanye, even just based off of the stuff that he said recently. But Kendrick notoriously will always make you wait.
I believe also, the fact that he may have got wind that Jay-Z is considering selling Kendrick part of his old catalog might have pissed him off.
Selling part of Jay-Z's own catalog to Kendrick?
Part of Kanye. Jay-Z owns some of it.
He wants to sell some of that to
He's considering selling, and Kendrick was thinking of was
so Kendrick's in the market for buying part of Kanye's catalog.
Yeah, his catalog. And I think he might have got wind of that.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not on Kendrick.
But do you think
what I'm saying? I mean, is that Kendrick's fault that somebody offering him?
No,
I don't think
that's
Kendrick
not even like a personal thing.
But I think now Kendrick just might take Jay-Z up on that deal, bro.
Yeah, that's a W for sure. That's a W.
He might just do it now because that's how you win some without saying nothing.
Whenever I see anti-Drake narratives or anti-Ye narratives on social media now, it seems like very, very likely in almost every case that these are being astroturfed by bots and like created by agencies that both artists have hired to basically force narratives out against the other people. Like when I'm seeing all these posts about Kendrick's tour not selling out, my brain immediately alarms go off. Like this is a campaign. There's an agency that has been paid to push these anti-Kendrick narratives. Is that what
they said? I haven't been following that.
I think they both got bot armies. That seems pretty obvious to me.
They said it's not selling out?
It's not even like expensive. It's like you can pay an agency, $30,000 a month and they're going to go crazy on social media, creating fan accounts and shit to basically push negative narratives about the other side.
That's crazy. Yo, you called me about a dude earlier. I don't know who he was.
A dude.
Go Yayo.
Oh, well, I wanted to let you know.
Listen,
yeah.
No, look, I didn't know who the hell he was, right? So I went to his Instagram, still didn't know who he was. Went to his social media. Yo, dude got some fire-ass music, bro.
No, yeah, he kills it. No, but, he's kind of blacklisted from the industry because he's Sauce Walker's op.
Who?
Sauce Walker?
Well, we need to do some business. Black with my he got a song that I played 8 times in a row. Gutter music. That shit is crazy.
No, yeah, he's super talented, but he's kind of worked his way into this position where he's Sauce Walker's op, and Sauce Walker has such a stranglehold on Texas that Goyeo feels like he's basically not getting the opportunities that he should get out there.
No disrespect to Texas. Goyeo. Texas is a drop of the bucket when we talking about the world. DSPs cover the world.
He's supposed to be here in like 20 minutes.
This ain't 1990, bro, where you need your backyard, right? We can put your backyard on the green screen and put you in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, whatever the hell we want you to be. Dude is hard.
No, he is hard.
I respectfully, I'd never heard of him. You hit me, boom, boom, boom. I said, let me see who he is.
For the record, I hit him.
You in the group text, I was like, yo, I'm like, dude is hard.
Chat. The reason why I hit Wack up was to say, Goyeo rolls around with people from this hood. I just want to make sure you know so that you are prepared for any potential mingling.
No, but that they was from that particular tribe. I've been intermingling with them for shit.
Right. I just
30 years, 40 years. You know what I mean? Shout out to the A gang.
Okay, as long as we're talking Kendrick, how do you feel about him leaving our boy Dodie 6 for dead? Forcing him to take whippets and drive his car into other people's cars.
He left him for dead. See, this is why people don't want to help people, because you help somebody, then they blame you for what they didn't do.
Yeah, pretty much.
I talked to Dodie 6. He called me the other day.
He's been calling me a lot too.
I talked to him. He told me he was like tripping out. He lost a bunch of things, and he said he got a DP. He said they DP'd him for, I don't know, being too passive or not being himself, something crazy. And I think he's going through some things. Looked like he just had a car accident, him and his girl.
Yeah, off the nitrous. And now they're back on live doing nitrous, driving around.
Those whippet things.
Yeah.
You remember the first time I seen that shit? You don't remember?
We got some here if you want to try it.
Draco.
Oh, yeah, Draco.
I didn't know with it. Hey, listen.
Always an innovator.
I looked on my floor. I said, yo, what? When I was young, I had a CO2 pellet gun, right? I caught my first case with a CO2 pellet. I was 12 years old. The crazy part I be seeing, I tell my stories and you take these trolls. You went to prison for a pellet gun. And I was 12 years old, shot a dude 32 times in the face for calling my mother the B word, right? That's what happened. But I'm looking at all these little containers. Like, what the hell is this? And I see him pull some shit out. He had a cup to where he popped it in the cup. And he was... So it reminded me of when people used to
canister,
when people used to huff paint, right? And I'm like, yo, are you really inhaling?
He fell asleep at the wheel of the Rolls Royce.
The foreign whip crasher. That's at least one way to crash a foreign whip. Do a bunch of nitrous. No lean doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, I think that shit fries your brain.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. And people lose use of their legs from that shit.
Yeah,
happens all the time.
You got the content?
What content?
I sent it to your phone.
Oh yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. I heard part of this is that Dodie 6 has basically, like, he had an infant son who passed. So I think that might have kind of sent him off the deep end.
Recently?
Yeah, a couple months back, something like that. That's what I heard. So, yeah. I mean, that, to be fair, that would drive many a man crazy. I don't know what the fuck I would do.
I mean, unfortunately in life, there's no rewind to it.
Right.
I would take it, channel it into my motivational side of me and keep moving and try to do something, you know what I mean, in memory of that child, you know what I mean, and work towards creating another one.
Right. I mean,
you can't stand over a dead body, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
ain't nothing gonna happen.
He was gonna come on the podcast the other day, and I think that people,
he told me he was coming up.
I think people in his family kind of got in between that.
No, I know the reason.
I don't think it's a great idea for him to come on the podcast at this point.
I know
I don't. I fuck with him enough that I don't want to be part of his downfall. So until he gets his mind right,
his downfall.
Well, he's just clearly he's not in a great place right now. And do I think we can help him? Sure. I just don't think it should probably.
I'm about to call his label.
Let's not make content out of it.
He told me to call his label. We definitely gonna do content. He's
about him crashing out and losing his life?
He needs to be able
losing his mind.
He need to be able to speak his side of it, right? But I know the real reason why he didn't come up here. He told me.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you off camera.
I think it's probably a better thing for him to get some help before he comes up here.
Get some help. Did you tell Orlando Brown to get some help?
That is a very, very fair point. However, I feel a little bit more endeared to Dota
check
6.
this out. This is now I'm about to step in. You're not finna disregard the platform. We need the content.
So you're saying that I should put the desire for content above my desire for him to get his mental health right?
That's been the motto of no jumper. That's been the motto of no jumper.
Hey, but I said no to Fusi too.
To who?
Fusi. The live streamer, the Middle Eastern dude who was losing his mind.
Yeah.
Yo, do you know about this? Remember Vitaly, the guy that you did the stream with?
I seen him going crazy in Russia or something.
No. He went to the Philippines and he's
there you go.
People. He's stealing a motorcycle from a cop. He's screaming in people's faces. Basically, they call it nuisance streaming.
Is the camera on? What is he doing?
Well, he's live streaming. Yeah, creating content out of him, basically harassing all these random pedestrians.
They took him to jail.
They arrest him. They're charging him. Apparently, it's going to take like 3 years before he goes to trial, and then they're going to give him 5 years for each charge that he's found guilty of. So basically, unless the government intervenes in some way, it seems like we're not going to see him for probably at least 8 years, which is insane. And the prisons there make American prisons look like a fucking Disney cruise. So, I mean, this dude is fucked beyond belief. He probably right now is wishing that he stuck with the profile hunting, which is why you guys were hanging out.
Clout chasing.
It's crazy.
And dude was on something.
I think he was on steroids and maybe nothing else.
I was finna bed his ass. Remember, I was finna knock him out.
What, he was being super annoying and crazy?
Yeah, he got to, I said, hey, homie, calm down, pipe down, homie.
Really?
Like, he was like, you know what I'm saying? And then he kept grabbing his nuts. So Akon was on the way. I said, hey, bro, when bro get here, because he was up there because I booked him, yo, whatever, stop doing that weird shit. You're not going to be on the side of him doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we got the content of him doing it. Nobody never seen it. It might be time to put it out. You know, I'm going to send it to nephew. We can put it out.
Damn. I mean, honestly, it's like I've been watching Vitaly's career from the very, very early days because he used to be a prank guy. Like in the very early days of YouTube. That's what he was
doing after he went to the wrong place.
Almost 20 years ago, he was doing these pranks, but a lot of the pranks were fake and everything. And now, like, you know, he did the pedo hunting thing for a little while, and now he's, I mean, this is really kind of a trend. A lot of people have been going to different Asian countries and just sort of torturing the pedestrians on the streets for content, which is insane. Like, why would you do that in a place like the Philippines that just doesn't fuck around at all?
I watched people just running around doing shit, though. He was like just fucking with people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what do you don't play? They don't play them type of games over there.
At all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, he might go in there. I think he was in Thailand. You know, they known for the, what they call something type. You know, a lot of the boys, they turn them into, well, not.
Lady boys.
Yeah, they known for that over there.
Yeah.
I believe like a certain child, if they're, whatever it is, it has to be they will, whatever they do, bro. Shit getting complicated.
A no jumper past host, Black Dave, he went to Japan, was doing very similar stuff, but he actually managed to escape the country before they apprehended him.
They was looking for him.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, I get out the country. I don't play them type of games. I had a near situation in Russia, and I don't know what the hell I was thinking. You know what I'm saying?
You were being a nuisance streamer in Russia?
I broke this dude's shit.
What'd you do?
We had an after party, and we were like 3 floors down. And we get there, we got to do an hour. We're on a game tour. And dude come bring me a mic. I said, nah, we just here to host, no songs, you know, game. After that hour, I got to rest his vocal cords, you know what I'm saying, for the next show.
No, yeah.
And dude was like, bro, stop playing like that. that shit ain't cool.
I know.
Right.
Just kidding.
Dude came and said, I said, nah, we're not doing no songs. And he was like, he started beating his chest. What? You're gonna do songs for me or else? And I fired. The instincts in me, I get off. Now my band is all older dudes, but one of them is an ex-con, my boy Eddie, right? Eddie played the drums. He from VNG, but he older, you won't be able to tell, right? So we in an all-out brawl. 3-4 stories down in a Russian brothel type shit. Beds floating around, some crazy shit going on, right? We gotta fight our way up back to the van, Get out of there. We get to the hotel. The hotel's a 1-floor hotel, and you gotta like put all your shit through like a conveyor belt to even get in. Man, my baby mama, I put the mattress on the floor. I called the airport. Airport didn't open up till 6 in the morning, so I couldn't go over there early. Flight don't leave till 8:39, so I just know they booked the rooms. I know they coming to get me. I know they finna come. All I'm thinking about is some Rambo shit. I'm gonna be in a cave 5 hours. They let me up out of there, and about 2 years ago, I get a call from 6ix9ine. Hey, Wack, what up? I got somebody want to talk to you. Who? Who does he put on the phone? The dude I fired on. He's in Russia.
He was in better spirits at this point?
He was like, yo, bro, man, I want to do some more business with you. You know, it was my bad. I'm like, you won't get me back over there, pal. But, you know, when you out of the, when we're Americans, when you leave the country, you're no longer in America.
Right.
The rules we know may be a little different over there, and you fall up under their jurisdiction as if they fall up under our jurisdiction. When you leave here, you need to be on your best behavior. Don't go to Dubai playing with no marijuana, playing with no drugs, cussing, all that. They'll lock your ass up.
Yeah, when I think about it, like I've been to China a couple times and I've been to Russia, and definitely we were going out and getting drunk and being ignorant as because it feels like there's no laws in some of these places. But when I think about it, until they get you. Yeah. Now, luckily, we weren't live streaming our crimes.
Let me tell you the scariest part about going to jail in another country.
Well, I mean, Vitaly right now is surrounded by people who speak Filipino. That's got to really suck. For 3 people per bed.
Now you know how a Mexican feel being in our county jail with in a cell with all black and white dudes, right?
Well, they speak English for the most part. Well,
no, when you get
real
like a paisa, right. But this is the scariest part about going to jail in another country. You don't even know how to use the damn phone.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
You know what I'm saying? Like you simple stuff like that. And then when the food come, you don't know what, you know what I'm saying? You can't really communicate with nobody in there. They don't understand what you're saying.
They could be plotting on you right in front of your face.
Straight up.
And what are you going to do? And the whole thing about it, too, is that Vitaly, like, no, the government's not coming to save you.
Now, they probably didn't Shannon Sharpe Vitaly about 7 times already.
What do you mean?
Call it what you want. We got content.
Ooh, Shannon Sharpe. So what? Like, doing gay shit with him? Oh, to be fair, he might physically be like the alpha of that prison. Bro, he's on roids.
When I say they probably Shannon Sharpe Vitaly about 7 times.
You mean gay sex?
No.
Oh.
This is Vitaly. No. This is Shannon Sharpe.
Right.
Shut up. It's just a Filipino choking out a white guy.
Yeah.
In their language, whatever that may be.
Oh,
Vitaly's probably screaming no.
It's just so extreme to think that, you know, there's like in America, what's the worst thing that could happen to you from doing something stupid like, you know, playing pranks on people out in the streets or whatever?
I'm not doing nothing.
Really, almost nothing. This fool might be in prison for like a decade.
Yeah, I'm not doing none of that. I get out the country, bro. I'm on my best behavior.
Nah, for sure.
Straight up. I don't want none of your prostitutes. I don't want none of that. Because they come at you. Bro, you remember? I got on y'all ass. Y'all was playing. And I took y'all to Bahrain. And I'm like, first of all, they remember all them little Thailand chicks. I said, first of all, you don't know what you're dealing with. Second of all, you don't know what you're dealing with. I took them little bastards over there. I couldn't wait to get their ass to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? I looked up, they had the whole hallway. I said, yo, what? Oh, we doing our thing. I swear to God.
Wow.
Creep, Young Mackie, all y'all.
I don't want to go to Dubai. Dubai sounds scary.
No, that was about done. Dubai's not scary. I love Dubai. Let me know. Listen, when you're ready to go, not only I'm gonna get you a big bag, I'm gonna have it all laid out for you.
Yeah. Get me booked in Dubai. Let's do that.
No, I'll do it.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna DJ?
No, just go host.
Oh, okay.
It's cool.
What is hosting? What do I do?
Just go to the club.
Just go there.
And it's different. It's like laid back cool.
You think people are gonna care about me out there?
Yeah, that's a fact.
They're with me in Turks.
That's a fact.
Well, they love the 22 straight out there.
I'm gonna call. I'm gonna get you booked, but it'll be laid out for you.
Let me know.
I have it laid out, ground, rooms, dinner. They'll take y'all to dinner in the sky. I took y'all every goddamn
Maybe
way.
while we're out there, we can get some sheik to take a dump on Lena's chest for extra money.
Oh, they'll definitely pay for that too.
Or maybe she could take a dump.
They'll definitely. However that goes, you know.
I'll watch the kids.
Then I'm gonna take you to the projects in Dubai.
What's that like?
Great.
Didn't they like create the city like fairly recently?
Yeah, but out of the city, it's the projects. And listen to me. When I take you to the projects and they open the walls up, did I take you over there? When they open the walls up and you see all the designer shit and they say, this is real fake. I'm like, what do you mean real fake? So a bag we
Just
might
fake.
pay $2,500 for, they want $200-300. It's not fake. They say it's real, but it's fake to Americans because we not buying it in the store for $3,000-4,000. They gonna take the lighter, put the lighter. It's made in the same place Louis and Gucci is made for. These are containers that the people is shipping out the back door to them.
Oh, okay.
So I got if I go to my WhatsApp right now, I could go to his name and I'm pretty sure he didn't send me pictures of everything.
I could go to Canal Street and buy a Gucci belt for $10.
No, that's some fake shit.
So this is like real fake.
This is,
Okay.
yeah. I brought some pieces back and I took it to the Gucci store. They like, yo, where the hell you get that exclusive from such and such? I gave it to them. They like, this shit is, they only made that little black, I had like a little bitty red bag or something. And like, these like, it's real, but it's fake to you guys because you're not buying it out of the store. This container, we just got sent here. You know what I mean? But nah, I'm gonna book you. You never been over there?
No.
Nah, yeah. You have
I've never been in the Middle East in general.
I'm gonna book you. I'm gonna get you booked over.
I'm going to make Lena cover her face and hair. She's going to have to wear the whole thing. Everything.
Huh?
Cover up, you immodest bitch.
Who you talking about? The homegirl?
Well,
What kind of motherfucker is you, bro?
I'm trying to get my Muslim wave together.
No, you can't talk
I
like
gotta
that.
run her shit.
It's changed, bro. I remember once upon a time, women couldn't wear certain shit. Look, he said to me, shit. I told you, look. What?
So these are actual designer bags that he's trying to sell you?
Oh, he's telling me what he got over there.
I mean, they look nice.
No,
I
it's
don't know
real.
if I trust you to be the judge of designer handbags, though.
You crazy. You know how much money I spent on designer shit for my boy?
You're right. I don't know.
You have no idea. But then, listen. When we go over there, bring whatever you want. He go take a lighter. He go put it to it. If designer is fake, that shit gonna burn.
Me, you, R&B, and Lena in Dubai all together.
No,
That's what we need. That's all we need. That would be the greatest thing that has ever happened.
I'm gonna get his book.
Let's do it. Let's bring Ye too.
That's easy. I'm gonna get his book.
Okay. All right. It's go yayo time for me personally. Shout out Wack 100. It was a great conversation as usual. And we'll be back next week, right?
That's a fact.
We'll be back. Big back.
That's a fact.
That's a factoid.
God damn it.
Ladies and
Blueface
gentlemen.
coming home. He on the way home. He got my man Mams putting together the squabble with Nick Young, Swaggy P. I don't want to say the name of the reality show. And I locking down the album deal. We hitting the ground running. And when we knock those things out that last quarter, we go on the tour, baby. We out. Europe, here we come.
Let's get it. Krishan. Just kidding.
He said that. Not me.
Krishan's cool. All right.